So, it's thinking time. Thinking time. It's the doing these when they come in and you sort them out and you have a pile. It's sort of a muscle memory. You just get enough to put in a jar. You get an empty jar, put the jar on the shelves, and that's how these have come about. Full jars. How are them next door? So they've been fairly easy to deal with, one jar at a time. And I'm going to have a big shift around, and I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it. So the problem being now, the ones I've got left, I don't really want to send mixed jars to another shelf to go looking, because I like this to be more of the search area. See, there's two sizes in that one. This is one size. But still, have we got enough of those to fill one of those plastic ones? I don't think so. This is a bit of a mixed as well. And as we come along, this is a full one. That's okay, but it's quite a useful size. I'd say that's 10 or 8 mil or something. So you don't really want to fetch something like that from the way back cupboards. Do you know what I mean? It's not rare enough. We use them all the time, as you might say. These might go, but again, there's only half a jar. There's some different sizes up the top. Here, look, different nuts. Yeah, I don't know. We've got fixings, these, that's one. Is that a mixed jar? This is definitely a mixed jar of nuts. And I don't keep nuts in this size especially. Maybe I should look at that. Maybe I should think to myself, well, right, it's time to make, like you'd buy in a shop, 10 mil, 11 mil, blah, blah, blah. Do that sort of sorting out, different bolts in there, and another pot of nuts. I didn't realise I had that many pots of nuts, but I could put those 3 in one jar, but then I've only got a big pot of mixed nuts then, haven't I? If you get what I mean. And even these don't even fill the jars full. So yeah, I've almost made the wrong shelves. I've done the right shelves for the jars, but I've done the wrong shelves for the sort of wrong volumes of stuff, because these have come along. I do like them, with I call them like they've got a shoulder. They're like having a built-in washer, aren't they? So I do like these ones. So let's what are we going to do? Let's have a look. Just remind ourselves, well, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to create a space here. This is how everything gets disturbed, and it never goes back where it was originally came from. But we'll move them along, shall we? Right, what's in this one? Ooh, long bolts and washers. Should we separate the washers? Pull the bolts out of there. This is a jar. Not quite a full jar, but this is, what's this? What's this in here? Oh, this is a mixed again, look. The mixed sizes and types and drives. Yeah, because what ends up here tends to be what there wasn't a size for anything else. So we'll be able to just shuffle them along in a minute now. Again, mixed. Who knew there was that many? That's one of them. So obviously I had a big jar and 3/4 of a medium jar of those. See, it's and because they're well buried there. Oh, I don't like them without a lid on. That's naughty, that is. That needs a lid putting on that. Oh. Ow, 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 ow. Right, here we are. Oh, that's, again, look, mixed sizes. Bigger ones in the bottom. Some of them are like the nylock things, what we got in here. Mixed. See, I think the mixed have got to stay here, haven't they? Even that's a mixed one. Blimey. Here we are. Oh, that's just 13mm nuts. But we've got lots of them anyway. In different jars, I think. What are these called? All them are... These are the fuel pipe things, do you think? And what's the head on that? And then... I can't remember the name of the driver. Is that a T-Rox the other way around type driver on that one? What's this in here? Oh yeah. Black short ones, shiny ones. And another set of different... When I separate them, I know there's 3 sorts in there. When I do that, hold on. Ooh. So what are we doing? We've checked that out. Check that out. What's this? Just nails. What's this? This is but again, see, they got these funny ones with a really small head on them. But again, only small amounts, isn't there? And this is what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get, oh, okay, big ones, little ones down here, and black ones with a fixed washer up there. So I've built the wrong shelves for the wrong job. I built that shelf to fit those, oh, they're nice, strong bolts. I built those shelves to fit those jars. Maybe that was the wrong way. Ooh, the right good mix in this one. Oh yeah, coach bolts, short patch coach bolts. What are these? Text driven. Ooh, plenty of grip on those, isn't there? How are we getting on? Come on, change hands. Ooh. There. Right, yeah. The problem is the jars that I want to get out of the way are full of mixed to be sorted. Less to be sorted. Obviously I didn't have enough room, did I? Here we are, look. Again, had a handful of those. Had a handful of them. Black ones and these ones. So that's why I've separated them like that, to see that there's 3 different sorts in this jar. But obviously this is a more efficient way to store them than to put them in 3 separate jars. This deserves to be in a jar on its own, easy to find, and this deserves to be in a jar of its own, easy to find. And that, do you see? Are you beginning to see the problem I've got? Yeah, I've got way too many mixed pots. Not enough shelving to keep just little ones. What's in here? Ooh. Oh. Again, mixed sizes. Which is fine if you're looking for something, you know, you're really struggling to find something and you're having to dig and look and search. And what are they in there? They're all mixed. Yeah. I've got that many different. Who knew? I mean, you think a nut and a bolt is a nut and a bolt, don't you? There's one thing I've learned with this is there are so many. There must be thousands and thousands of, what should we call them? Different specification, different heads, different driving weights, different threads, different lengths of threads. Some of them not thread all the way down. Some of them with a shoulder, you see, that's got a shoulder, and I do like ones with threads all the way down. So you can see I've jammed myself in a corner somehow. Hold on. Let's go and have a look in here. Let's start over there. Look. Them screws are handy. There's those, I call them thin nuts. Yeah. They're not a proper nuts, are they? They're sort of thin little baby bolts. Little nuts and bolts, always handy. Allen key heads, look. Different finishings, different types. Look, tiny screws. These are these funny, even these are different, look square. This is why it's not boring, is it? It's not boring. Well, to me and Scoutcrafter, it's not boring having a look at how many different types, lengths, threads make up of. Oh, we like them. Oh, we didn't know they were there. We'll put them on the front so we remember them. Yeah. Different ways of driving them. Look, Allen key ends on them. They deserve different types of finishes. Some of them are nice and shiny. Some of them are made of different materials. Some of them are really, really tiny. Yeah. And that's just one shelf. And there's loads of shelves of them. Different sorts, different types, doing different jobs. I think some of them are manufactured specifically to do. Well, I guess if you're getting them made, you're getting them made for a certain job, aren't you? Yeah. Crazy. I'm bewildered by it all. They're quite nice, aren't they? But a little thread on the end, a big long. Sometimes you want them sorts, don't you? Thread all the way don't work. Just there's so many, and it doesn't suit the I need to make another whole load of rivets. Rivets are still going. When are we? Rivets. Yeah, rivets. And find some tech screws. Funny them in the bottom more here. These are longer ones. We've got all them sorted. That's without even beginning to look at the Whitworth and the older stuff. And of course we've got screws and pots down there of older stuff. How am I going to make, what am I going to do? And have I got enough jars to put them in? Like we saw, that one jar needed 3 little jars, didn't it? Yeah, okay. One, where was it now? What were we talking about? Where was it? It was here somewhere. One jar required 3 little jars. And okay, it freed up one bigger jar, but it was still an inefficient way of, we haven't got a place big enough to put it in, have we? Look at this one. Wow, this has got loads in. This one's got some of them. Some of this to show that there's a difference. Some of them. And some of them, and even some of them on top. So this really requires 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd say 5 little holding containers. And it's only going to free up one space of one jar. It's not efficient, is it? Ooh. Do you see? Can you see my problem? What's the solution to the problem? What is the solution to the problem with the space that I've got? Oh, we were looking for them, weren't we? Ah, blimey. I've been looking for them. Remember these little brush things? I wanted one the other day and I thought, where the hell are those little brushes? We're going to put these with the stocks. At least we know where they are and where we can find them. And we're going to put them here. We're going to put them there. At least we know where they are. We're looking for them. I was looking for them the other day. Them little eyebrow brushes. And I couldn't find them. Anyway, we've got ourselves distracted again. Yeah, so, what is the solution? What's the next step? Next step. Or have we got to just bite the bullet and just throw a whole load of... Have we got to move into this place? I mean, it is good. That's why this does deal with... Doing it this way does deal with a lot of the issues of stuff in little jars. Easy to see, easy to access. This is a good... I quite like this. So does it mean I'm going to have to move cupboards around and start putting stuff in little jars to create the space that I want? I suppose ideally that situation, or I don't really want to. I don't think the volumes are too big. Have I got to go and find something like this? This is great for really small amounts and really small fixings, but it's definitely not a solution to the, you know, you've really only got a small amount, fine. It's not really, and all the shelves are full anyway. Where am I going to see? Even these are sharing. See, black ones. I make them easy to see, different colours, you know, when they're sharing. I don't put like with like. There's 2 items in there. It's clearly, you can see there's 2 items. Let's see as we go down. Hold on. Again, 2 items, 2 different coloured items. So we know we've got 2 items in there. Let's come down a bit. Even these, it's not a bolt even, is it? What the hell is that? Oh, whoops. Don't kill the super glue. Come down a bit. We've done that. We've done, you know. Yeah. So even this isn't an answer, is it? See, these clips, there's, what are they? What would they do? You just, they either will come in or they'll never come in. Who knows? It's part of the fun of, well, I haven't got one of those. Mainly that's what I do. If there's something I haven't got, then I've got to have it, haven't I? Yeah. And oh, it's okay, but there's no space. It's a bit of a tough space to get into, that is. If we go down this way, little containers. But again, look, it takes up wall space. What am I going to do? What am I going to change? What am I going to throw out? What am I going to send to the back there? Because I don't really want to be doing stuff and having to go all the way to the back all the time. It's like a spare, you know, sort of situation. I've got myself in a right little pickle here somehow. And I'm in a dead end. I don't know how to get out of it. Yeah. We've got room to go backwards. There's room behind these. But you can't see to them. You can't see the damn things, can you? Have I got to make 3? Well, my original plan, my plan for this square here, 2 of them, make the same as it's a cupboard door. I want to build a steel frame inside here, the same as a door. So imagine, I'm taking inspiration off this cupboard. I would like this to be shelves of little pots of fixings on the outside. And then you open the framework open, and inside, nice big thick door, inside another row of fixings, little pots of different fixings, easy to see. Same again here, you'll open it out in this sort of fashion, you know. And then in here would be another row of fixings, little pots, you know. Obviously the weight would add up eventually, but then to make it even more spectacular, the whole thing will open like a big door, and maybe another row of little pots of fixings, you know, a dozen of this, a dozen of that, opening into another space. So that's what is in my mind. I mean, you'd need one hell of a post to hold it up. I mean, you'd virtually have to dig a hole to put a strong enough post to hang a door like that, full of little jars like this on the surface inside the door. And then you'd open the door out, and inside the door you'd see another whole load, and then in the back here you'd see another whole load. Are you seeing my vision? Are you seeing my vision? But 2 of them, so 1 load there and another load here. You'd have to build it so it would stand on its own, wouldn't you? Yeah. You need some, well, the hinges ain't a problem. It's the balance of holding this up, because you imagine that door's going to be heavy as hell and the racking's going to hold it. But the moment you begin to open it like this to get this out of the way, that's when it's the weight transfer on the post. Now this, fair enough, this door is here and the weight is coming down here and it's fairly stable and the weight is going this way. I've learnt this from the big outside doors because they move. But the moment you open that door, whatever you've got, now the pressure is no longer this way. The pressure is this way, isn't it? And how are you going to make that strong enough to hold that so you can open and close a big heavy door? And to clear everything out the way to even begin to do that, that's going to be one hell of a project, isn't it? But that's what I've got. That's what I'm thinking of next. Because it's only angle iron and weld everything, bolt and weld, frame door with a wooden interior on the face. Open the door, another face here, full of wooden shelves, and then we can go in, can't we? Anyway, that's my next big project. We can gain space here, can't we? We can transfer these away, can't we, into them pots in the back. Possibly a whole pot of them. We can transfer them in the back, can't we? These anti-loose pins. We can begin to create space. I mean, all these now. Are we going to, but they're down and buried. But are we going to start shifting that lot into the back, into the bigger tubs? Just to create space and empty jars. This is the same, white EBS up there, but it's not easy to go and find. It's not going to clear these jars out of the way, are they? So it's like a little bit of a relay race. I'm finding stuff on the shelves that were in here. These are these fencing thing books. These are these anti-loose bolts. Washers. These will go in a tub. They'll go in a tub as well, won't they? They're all one size. Should we do a torture test on the longer stuff? But each one of these have got a lovely little bolt underneath. But you've got to rip this plastic off and it's murder. These will go in. So this is going to directly transfer into the new shelves. But as you know, in the Goldwing garage, all the shelves are pretty full, aren't they? So we're going to have to find something from there to move across to the back garage, and then these whole jars then can go in the Goldwing garage, and then that will relieve these shelves slightly, create gaps in these shelves, so the stuff can come into here. Then hopefully we can empty this or empty that and do something with them. That's the thinking. We're getting there. We're very slowly, and we're getting there. So I think I found my way. There are pots of multiples in here, isn't there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 jars of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 jars of those, isn't there? What have we got? That we've got, oh, mind you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now there's 6 jars of these here. six jars of these. Right. 6, A6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So these 6 jars can now be transferred to the very back. That means we can transfer stuff from the other garage onto this shelf space. Those 6 can go in the back in a big pot, which will then we'll snip those 6 off, and whatever we bring in from over there, whole jars, will come into here, which will then relieve those shelves over there. Oh, I think we found our way. So let's give that a nice coating. Let's see how many of these go in there. Ooh, 1. So we've gained a jar, haven't we? We've used that. Will we get 3 in there? 2. Not bad, not bad. Keep it at 2 or 2.5, couldn't we? So we've gained ourselves an empty big jar plus an empty big jar space on the other shelf. Will we get 1 more? Yeah, I think we'll get 1 more. So 3 of these are going to fit into one of these. Give it a bit of a drink, put some in, give it another bit of a drink, get another one of these. Remember, these are already had a drink. So we just tap that out the bottom. That's given us an empty shelf space and an empty jar. Let's give that another bit of a drink.
and it will dribble down towards it. Tap, 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 tap. Let's get another one. Tip that in. Wow. That's going to be lovely. Just tapping and banging. Banging and shaking. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, give it a quick dribble on top, because you just don't know when you're going to visit this jar again. And then we'll shut the lid on it. We'll do the lids later. That's quite time consuming. So those 6 pots now have gone in there. Lovely. We've got 6 spaces on the shelf, 6 jars ready to be reused, and we've relieved ourselves of 6 spaces out to the main garage. Ooh, it's going to work fine. The plan is working. So the stuff that was on here can now go on the shelves over there. Okay. Stuff from there can go there, create space. The stuff that was there, and in between we are gaining, before we go any further, we are gaining empty jars back for the stores. We need empty jars always, don't we? You can never have, you never know what's coming through the door, especially these big ones. You never know. So we're gaining empty jars, we're gaining shelf space here. This lot is transferring over to that. This one where we've got one whole pot of just the same thing, which is what we like, isn't it? This lot can go around to here. Yeah. Ooh. We must remember to take one of those down and put one of these there. And this, this can go on the shelf here. We'll put that there to remind us. This can go on that shelf, because in here it's just full pots, isn't it, of the same thing, and we can easily find it here. And then the stuff that was here that we had, you know, 6 pots of it, had these screws. So these screws have now come over here into this slot. I haven't done the lids yet, I will do, but they have now come over here. And you want to know something? Keep watching. That one. We've done them mixed lids. Done them. We've done them. We've done them. We've done them. We're we're nearly halfway through the red pots already. There's one row done. And then we start on the blue pots. Oh, it won't take as long now. And those shelves are going to be full. I've got I like it when I've got a plan. And I think the plan is working. Yeah. So some transfers are easier than others. This tub won't transfer directly into that tub. But it's only the very same parts. So all we've got to do is strip the parts down, and they will take a lot less space. But of course, it's time, isn't it? It's fiddling about, which is okay in the summer, but not so okay here in the winter. And of course I haven't got my music on, have I? No. So, this is it, slows down the job a bit, but only a bit. So here we are, shelf number 2. Wait a minute. Stay there just a minute. Wait there just a minute. Let me just put this in on the shelf. Right. Oh dear. Shelf number 2. It's going to be very interesting. I wonder how. Oh no, that'll fall down. Oh no, they don't fall down the back. Oh. We might yet have small jars in front. Let's see how we get on. But anyway, it's going to be very interesting to see how these glass, it's thin plastic, isn't it? How it's going to handle the weight. If the WD-40 is going to affect it. Obviously it won't be sunlight that breaks them, and it's sunlight that breaks plastic, isn't it? So anyway, and then of course I will swap things about, put the bigger stuff in the bottom, put the smaller stuff, you know, if it's easier to see, make it bigger in the bottom. All these all these little ones really shouldn't be down here. It should be big ugly stuff like that and stuff like this. But we've got, you know, one step at a time. But anyway, shelf number 1 and shelf number 2. We've only got one more shelf of these red ones. I quite like that idea. Maybe if we've got more, we could put one in the back and maybe one of these, which they were originally in the front. Oh, we've got that option, haven't we? Yeah, that might work. Even if we have to fit another plank in the back there. Do you know, it's great, because it's great finding out things as you go along. So I'm thinking now, we could have a jar in front of each, couldn't we? Just like that. I think that might be a good idea and easier to see. Anyway, let's get the jars filled first. Then we know what's going to go onto them shelves. Then we'll organise them in such a way where the big stuff's easy to see and the smaller stuff comes up, so that's, you know, better to see. And we might yet push a big jar full, take a bit of weight out of that even to help it, because they're pretty, I know they're sturdy and they're plastic, but I wonder how they're going to last in time. I mean, time, you can't beat a glass jar, can you? You can't beat a glass jar. I wonder what time is going to do to these, and environment, you know, and of course the weight, because these now are holding an awful lot more weight in them than what they designed. I think this, are they a sweet jar or something? Yeah, there's a lot to putting these shelves together. It doesn't just fall together, you know. A lot of thinking and a hell of a lot of enjoyment goes into making these shelves work. So the good thing about this sort of project like this in your shed, you can take as long or as little, you can get it done, or you can spend an hour a day or 2 hours a day, and you can change it and alter it and you can do it's your project, isn't it? You're in charge, and that's part comes the fun. You can see the weight now. Can you see there's an awful lot of weight in those jars, and you can see that coming down slightly. I can see a bow. So the light shelf, once this comes down, they'll all begin to sit on each other, and the weight will come on it, and it will find its way. Yeah. But yeah, I'm quite happy. Just tinkering away, an hour at a day, an hour at a time, 2 hours at a time. I mean, we could scrap the whole thing of swapping jars and doing all that, and just bring the jars out here. Too deep. We could do that, couldn't we? No, we've given these. I'm going to use them, but we'll keep the glass jars just in case we have to fall back to the original position of just jars on here. But glass is really long term, you know. Yes, occasionally they break, sometimes you drop them, but that could be the same for these plastic things. I haven't really tested them out, as in how long they're going to last. They should be all right. They should be. Just out of curiosity, does this jar fit in there? Oh yeah, that jar fits in there as well. So we could do the, yeah, no. What do you think? I do like these big ones. Yeah, and yeah, but it all started really. I had the wood first. Yeah, of Jerry Wally Carriers when I was doing that, and this was the stuff used to ship in, the steel. This is the wood in between. So I had the wood, and then Debbie's boss or Debbie's manager. You know, Debbie tells the story of my husband's a nuts and bolts crackpot, and then these came along. Actually, I think these came along first, and then these, and then I had to make use of them and make a plan with them. Yeah, it just comes along. It's fate, isn't it? It happens because. It happens because this you deal with what you've got and what's in front of you, don't you? Yes, I know. The place is a tip, but the place is a tip because I haven't got shelf space. So we are getting there, aren't we? We're shipping this lot over to there and that lot over to next door and next door over to the back shed. So we are making space. I can see progress happening. I can see spaces on my shelves. Yeah, isn't that amazing? I can see gaps on my shelf, and I can see jars missing from up here. So yeah, progress is being made bit by bit, and then all of a sudden I'll have these free to put this stuff, this sort of more of the tools, because I don't want the tools and the taps and dies and all that. I might even make another part of this, one of the taps and die cupboards here or there. You won't get many in though, will you? Anyway, we'll see.